Good morning everyone and welcome back to our YouTube channel.
Thank you so much for all the people who commented on the last video. It really made our day reading through all the comments, and I'm glad you really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's been so lovely to hear your response to every single video that we put out. People are really interested in living off grid and especially rebuilding an old stone barn.
And if you guys have got any ideas for videos that you want to see in the future, leave them in the comments below.
Yeah, if you've got any questions or anything that you really want answering, do let us know. We're the Indie Project, Bee and Theo, and we've been living and travelling the world in vans for the past 6 years. We're currently renovating an abandoned stone barn in Portugal to turn it into a beautiful tiny home for us and our cat, Ginjey Bear. Follow our journey from the very beginning as we document the whole process of creating an off-grid home. So it's a really beautiful morning, and one of my favourite things is to take my coffee that I've already half drank and go and finish it with the chickens and just continue to gain their trust and let them know that I'm a friend, not a foe. I've got to say, starting my day sitting out here with the chickens is becoming one of my favourite activities because they're so fun to watch, they're so cute, but also it's just so lovely to sit outside in the sunshine and just listen to the quiet all around us, the bird song, Ginjey meowing here and there, and also really looking at nature because the trees, I've just realised, are starting to change their colours on the leaves and autumn is on its way.
It feels so strange working inside the barn. We've been doing so much on the outside. It's nice to finally be actually chipping away at stuff inside, and there's a lot to do. It has actually rained over the last couple of days, which is really good actually, because it means the walls on the inside have got all the dust off, so we haven't had to go around with a scrubbing brush. It's all just been done by the rain, so it's looking nice and fresh. Down here we have been chipping away all of the dirt out of the crevices inside the rock. And you can actually see here, this is the base rock that the barn is built onto. So it's so cool to finally get rid of all the dirt so you can see what's underneath.
It goes all the way around the bottom, doesn't it? You can see it along the whole thing.
It goes all the way from one side of the barn to the other side of the barn, and that's why they would have built on it, because it's a great foundation. It's solid stone. But what we do have to do now, or not just now, but soon in the next few coming days, we're going to have to fill in all these massive gaps, because like we said, this is all going to be a lime plaster and it needs to be nice and level so that we can get that plaster looking really nice.
And this wall here is staying stone. It's going to be our feature stone wall, but we still need to remove any old dirt, any old crud that's built up in the cracks, and that's what we're going to be doing today, because when it comes to being pointed, it'll be ready and raring to go. You might have noticed as well, we've got a lot of burnt stuff on the stone. We need to get that off too, but we need to get a proper tool to be able to get all of that off.
There's no fast way around what we're doing right now. We've got a chisel and a hammer, and all I'm going to do is just get in there and chip away at the old mortar.
Oh, it really crumbles out.
It's really good. Most of the time it just crumbles out nicely, because I'm really thankful they didn't use the cement. If they used the cement, it'll be a nightmare to get that out of here, but they built this over 100 years ago. All it's packed with is like a clay.
It's very stable.
They packed it with a clay.
It's like dirty clay, isn't it?
Yeah, dirt, clay, a little bit of sand maybe, whatever they could get their hands on, and just packed it together, and it's been standing perfectly fine for over 100 years. So the fact that we're using lime and we're embedding all the rocks together and pointing it all really nicely means it should last for another 100 years.
So if you look right ahead, you can see how it was all kind of one big clump. And then over here, it's all separate and looking really good.
So as Bee mentioned, the seasons are changing, which is quite exciting. One, because it's cooler and we can work in a day, but two, we can start actually clearing the land and we can get this bad boy out of storage. This thing is an absolute workhorse. This is our strimmer and it's done us proud up until now. And we can finally get it out again and start to use mulching blades on it. We've got a circular saw blade that we can cut down brush and broom. It's amazing and it's really going to help us clear the land. A lot of you guys said, well, why don't you clear the land now? And the reason was it's 40 degrees, there's a fire ban, you're not allowed to actually use strimmers in a fire ban, so you don't want huge amounts of grass and broom piled up in the summer's heat because it's just dangerous and it's a fire risk. But being self-sufficient, tools don't always work, and I know I just said it is a workhorse, and it is. It's just got a small problem that I need to fix, and when you're living off grid, you can't just go somewhere and get someone to fix it because we don't have anywhere around here that can just fix this. So I've ordered this little bubble here, which is basically the priming bubble, and now all I'm going to do is replace this priming bubble because it's got a crack in it. And it should be a simple fix. It's just 4 screws that hold a metal plate together, and then I can put the new one on and we're all set for winter. There's so many little tasks that we need to do before winter, so winter runs smoothly, but I'm excited for the cooler nights, the cooler weather. It means that we can work all day and just be productive.
Now this is something that I didn't think was going to actually be this hard, but it's turning out to be something that's requiring a lot of experimentation, and that is trying to get the soot stains off the stone, because this portion of the front wall is going to be completely exposed and we don't want the stones covered in soot because it just doesn't look very nice. So
you can see it behind you there.
Yeah, so this is going to be covered, which is fine, but all this going up to the top is still going to be exposed. So we've been trying a few different things. The old drill with this kind of brush attachment on does work, but it requires a lot of elbow grease, a lot of power.
It's going to take a few weeks to finish it.
Exactly, so it's like, is that really a good method? Don't know. So we thought we'd try some other ones. We've been trying washing up liquid with water because, you know, soap and water gets rid of everything. It does help, it does speed it up with the drill, but it doesn't get rid of it. We tried vinegar, because soot is apparently greasy, so an acid will break it down. Didn't really do much. And then I've been using this miracle cream called the Pink Stuff that I got on Amazon back when we were in the UK, because it's really good at cleaning ovens and cookers, and I thought, well, soot, you know, might work on it. So I've just literally covered this stone in it, scrubbed it, and I'm leaving it to soak on there just to see if it'll work. And if that doesn't work, then I've done some Googling and there is some specialist cleaning products you can get, but I don't know if you're going to be able to get them here in Portugal.
And what's happened is they've just had a fire in this corner all the way up, and you can see there's a stone there that they removed from the wall, probably to let the smoke out, and it's stained the wall, but we'll get rid of it.
I'm just going to sit down for a second and take a break from scrubbing rocks. It feels like I'm constantly breaking or scrubbing rocks at the moment, but such is life when you are converting a barn. But anyway, I wanted to say a big thank you to today's sponsor, which is Squarespace. Now, Squarespace is a brilliant online platform where you can build and design your own website without having any experience whatsoever. Me and Theo have been using Squarespace for a number of years now, and we completely made our website totally customized to us. There's loads of templates, you can drag and drop and add whatever you want on there. We love being able to have a blog, a shop, even host our podcast through Squarespace. It's so simple and easy to use. Anyone can do it. And if you want to try Squarespace, have a 14-day free trial and 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain, just head to squarespace.com/indieprojects or go to the link in our description. So once again, thank you Squarespace, and I'm gonna have to get back to scrubbing some rocks.
So we've just set up the platform roughly at the height the mezzanine is going to be. We've never really done this before. We've marked it out on the wall so we can see it, but we've never stood up there. So I'm going to climb up now and see how high it actually feels, because I've got a feeling it's going to be pretty high, especially now the wall's gone up. This is really sketchy and actually very high up, as I thought it was going to be. It means that when we actually create the mezzanine up here, we're definitely going to have some sort of a barrier so we just don't roll off in the middle of the night, because I think a serious injury would occur. It's actually really cool sitting up here at the height roughly where the platform's going to be for the mezzanine, because I can just get a scale, I can get an idea of space, and look above me. I've got all that height when I'm sitting down, and I can just about stand up, which is amazing because we've still got the ridge beam to go above that as well, so that will gain a few inches of height as well. To the left of me here, that's where the high wall is. That is where our bedroom's going to be, and that's why we built it up, so we've got more space. The other side is going to have a Velux window in it, and the pitch of the roof is going to be steeper so we can see out of the window. It's all coming together, and it feels like quite a monumental moment just sitting up here. It's quite strange, but just to get an idea of the space, I'm even more excited now to finally get the roof on and get the mezzanine in place.
I don't know how Theo's managed to do it, but he's perfectly positioned this ladder exactly where our staircase is going to go.
It's called witchcraft.
There's literally there's no jutting out rocks or anything. I don't know how you've done it, but this is exactly where our ladder's going to go. It's actually going to be a staircase / ladder hybrid thing that we're going to be making. And it comes up perfectly in the middle of the mezzanine. So when you walk up there, you haven't got to worry about smacking your head off the ceiling or anything like that, because when we were first doing the mezzanine, it was going to be a really small crawl space, but now it's actually turning out to have quite a lot of headroom.
I'm not going to lie, the atmosphere's changed because the building control has just arrived on the premises and is currently doing a perimeter check, making sure everything is up to standard. Is up to standard? Yeah?
So yesterday we did something really exciting.
And we've been waiting for a while to actually do this.
Yeah, so as you guys know, we unfortunately lost 2 of our girls a few weeks ago to a fox, and that meant that we only had 2 chickens left, Mary and Betty. And last night we brought in 2 new girls that are hiding somewhere in the enclosure. Let me see if I can find them. So the first new addition is a small white chicken with a little blonde head, and she's actually the same age as Mary and Betty with cute green legs. And the second one is a slightly older brown bird who's really beautiful and super calm, so they're a lovely addition to the flock. We introduced the 2 new chickens last night into the coop, so they all got to spend a night together, because chickens don't actually have the best eyesight, so they all spent the night in the coop, and then today they all came out, got a good look at each other. Betty's definitely asserting her dominance as top of the pecking order, as is to be expected, because chickens have a pecking order, it's how they function. So these 2 are really settling in well. There's been a couple of little nips here and there from the other 2 chickens, but it's just to be expected really. We don't have names for them yet, so if any of you think of a really lovely name for either one of the chickens, please comment below, because I didn't know this, but chickens do actually respond to their names. Betty and Mary definitely do. So yeah, if you've got names suggestions, that'd be great. And the next thing we need to do actually with the enclosure, I don't know whether it was the last video or the video before, but we put up the fencing around the enclosure, so we need to actually complete that now. We need to finish the skirt. It's laid out, but it needs to be secured down and then covered with a layer of topsoil, so that's what we're going to be doing now. I just need to make a correction. I re-watched that clip that I just filmed and I said chickens don't have the best eyesight. I meant chickens don't have the best eyesight at night. They've got amazing eyesight in the day. If you ever watch a chicken, they can see an insect behind them, but yeah, at night their eyesight's really poor. And actually, I used to have a night light in the bed area of the coop for Betty and Mary because they would not go into there at night because it was dark and scary. The moment I put a night light in there, they'd put themselves to bed super easy. So if you didn't know that about chickens, that's a little fact for you. Have you bitten off more than you can chew?
A little bit.
It doesn't help that it's uphill.
Leg day.
Is your heart beating?
Just stop for a little break. Ah, that's a lot harder than I imagined. I think I definitely overfilled this wheelbarrow.
How much do you reckon one of these weighs? They are quite heavy.
Okay, round 2.
Right, go! Perfect. We thought a really good way of using up the old beams that were taken off the roof that were concrete would be to put them around the edge of the enclosure, so they're going to be covered by dirt. I think, yeah, you can see Theo is just literally covering them with dirt right now. There's a load of them, so there's definitely more than enough to be able to cover the whole circumference of the enclosure, cover them with dirt, so that along with the predator skirt should really make sure that nothing can dig underneath the enclosure.
It's super sweaty work, but it's got to be done now because it looks like there's actually some rain on the horizon, maybe tomorrow, which means if I dig all of these in place and get the ground compacted down when it rains, it should be even stronger. So I don't know if I've told you guys, but we are about to get a wood delivery in the next couple of days. So it means that we need to make room for the truck to get in here. Right now there's just a massive pile of stones everywhere. The building site is a mess and it's mine and Bee's job to tidy it up before the wood arrives. So it means picking up absolute beasts like this and moving them over there, but it'll actually be good to have all of these stones in the same place.
I promise I'll help you in a minute. So as we said, we're clearing all of this area because we're getting loads of deliveries through, because you can see behind me, the building doesn't have a roof, but it's going to be going back on soon. It's going to be better than ever. It's going to be actually amazing. We're really excited for this moment. It feels like a long time coming. If you've been watching these videos from the very beginning, back when we were jackhammering all the stuff out, to be where we are now, the progress is fantastic, and it's so exciting to bring you all along with us. You do not want to miss the next videos that are coming up. So thank you for watching. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you on the next video.